Okay, now we arrive in Cuba. It's one of those last few communist states that remained in the world, so it's gonna be interesting to see if there is actually a difference in the region. Cuba is the third most populated country in this region, in Caribbean islands. Uh, all of those three, Cuba, Haiti, and Dominican Republic, have similar populations, so it's gonna be interesting to see the difference between them. So we're gonna start with numbers. Cuba has a population around 11 million people and going down, as you can see in the recent years. Growing rate again going down. So let's go back in 1955, around 6.5 million people living in this country with a growing rate about 2%. There will be roughly 123,000 people. Migration minus around 8,000, median age around 21 years old, fertility rate one of those nonsense 3.9, and urban population 58%. Now fast forward to 2025, population it is right now almost 11 million people, but it's going down, as you can see. They're going down from 2015. They reach around 11.2 million people, so now they're around 11, let's call it like that. Yearly change again 0.4% on minus 42,000 people net in change. Migration minus 22,000 people. The median age around 42 years old. Fertility rate now much more manageable, 1.45, but they got below replacement in 1980 with a huge step from the 1975. Pretty interesting. And urban population around 82%. Now, in the future, in 2050, the city population is going to be around 9.3 million people with minus 0.82% rate, and yearly change is going to be minus 80,000 around that. Migration minus 8,000. Median age around 50 years old. Fertility rate 1.5, and urban population 97%. Life expectancy is very high in Cuba. It's 78 years old for both sexes, females 80 and males 76, so very high numbers. Infant mortality rate 4.4 and death under age of 5.5. That's actually great numbers. Now keep in mind this is a communist state, so I'm not sure exactly how those numbers are exactly accurate, but if they are, which I don't think so, very good numbers. Not perfect, everything under 3 it's good, very good, but very good numbers compared with what we found in Haiti and Dominican Republic, but again kind of highly doubt that. Now Havana is the capital of the state. They speak Spanish. They are 65% white and 25 mixed. Afro-Cubano around 10%, 60% almost Christianity and 23% no religion, and majority, a pretty decent 18% on folk religion, so probably they have that voodoo either from Haiti. You can see the pyramid, the base is getting much narrow. They have a huge male surplus in population by the age of 40, huge male surplus, and then they go in a female surplus population. Economy, well, let's see this one. Economy of the Cuba GDP is around $100 billion, which is not that much. And PPP around, I would say 137 probably. If not, it's a nominal, which is from 2017 and this is 2018. Pretty hard to see. I checked some numbers and they say around 100 billion it is today, so yeah, not that much changed. Agriculture 0.8%, industry 23%, and services 74%. What else can we find? Oh yeah, unemployment 2.6% in 2017. Well, see, the estimated is unofficial. It's around 2.6. Unofficial is gonna be around double that. Even at this have, they say 5%, still exactly not exactly that bad. I think they have some embargo with America, but look at this. They export a lot to China, Spain, and Germany, and they import from Spain, China, and Netherlands, and they import quite significant 10% from United States in 2023. I'm not sure exactly how this embargo goes. Probably just they cannot export to United States, but they can import from them. Pretty interesting, but I guess it is what it is in those days. Okay, corruption here. Well, it is pretty high as in any country that we accept, but it's lower, they say, than others pretty much in the region. So yeah, Cuba, let's find, and they have Cuba has scored 41 points and they dropped 6 points. Not exactly the worst, but still they are perceived as more corrupt. They got almost at less corrupt, so maybe not so bad for them. Now life inequality here. They don't have the numbers for Cuba 100%. I see that on the map that they don't find. Oh, they have something, yeah. They say kind of 30 in 2000, so a long time ago. They consider upper middle income. Pretty interesting. So they don't have exactly that much numbers, but yeah, probably the same. It's a communist country and things, from my understanding, doesn't work that well there, but we're gonna see in a moment. Now, history of the Cuba. Spanish influence, Spanish colony, Spanish territory, whatever you want to call it. I think at some point he was an American, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Check very slowly. Maybe I was wrong, but they have some American influence at some point, but I don't remember exactly. Oh, look at this. Right, he was a US military government in Cuba in 1892 until 1902. So they have that Guantanamo Bay base there. So yeah, still some disputes there, but at least we have a clear map where is the border. Now let's check how those people actually live. Again, Havana, the capital, it's in the northern west part of the island, so it's gonna be around this one, I guess. And not that many 360 and not one a single those street views. So yeah, things are not gonna get that easy. See how things are here, but from the downtown we have a bit more of those 360. So let's check them out. I like those tables from the, I think it's from the iron, forged iron. Looks pretty nice. Yeah, from above here it is Havana. It doesn't look exactly amazing, but still it's again one of those Spanish colony, let's call it like that. So I don't expect to be exactly the, greatness. This is 2016, so almost 10 years ago, quite a while. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit difficult to estimate how things are, but judging by those buildings, yeah, not exactly a great one. This is, I think, like a small park, I guess, when people just hang out, but some garbage here that I don't like it. They have one of those colorful buildings and strips that you can see them in pictures. Yeah, here is pretty good road. This is 2017, keep in mind. Again, garbage here, not that much that I would like to see. Yeah, this building, not sure exactly what I'm gonna say, but it's a clearly an apartment building. But yeah, keep in mind it's a communist country, so it's the same, let's say, way of building. Not that much changes, just the environment, I guess. Ooh, they have some pools here. Man, it could be a nice hotel here. Yeah, it looks very nice. Look at those guys. Or maybe it's a rental home, I don't know. Clearly not for the average guy 100%, but let's check out the region. Maybe things are not exactly that worse, but keep in mind communist countries, they like apartment building. Yeah, I think that's for sale, I guess. When you see those bars on the windows, again, things are not looking that great with the crime rate. Keep in mind, it's in a communist country. It's supposed to be a low crime rate in those ones. That is not the case here, because it's a bit different in that department. Pretty huge. Look at this church here. That's a nice Spanish architecture right there. Looks nice. Looks nice. Yeah, expensive also. Probably when they build that, the Spanish colony, they look pretty nice, but expensive. And also expensive to maintain. Oh, that's a nice building there. I'm gonna check that immediately. Yeah, downtown, those buildings looks amazing. Yeah, not the communist one that they're building now, or they used to build, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how much they're doing in the building department, but pretty nice. All those Spanish architecture always was nice. Oh, look at this pink. What car is those? Spring Chrysler? I'm not sure exactly which one it is. This is a Capitolio. Looks a bit like in the US government. Pretty nice building, yeah. And even this one, look at this, that's pretty nice if it was well maintained, but unfortunately it just looks like somebody cut them with a saw chain and just left that part out there. Yeah, doesn't exactly a great image, but the old architecture, the Spanish architecture, always look great. It's just, yeah, look at this. Even those ones, see, they build apartments, but not very high. This one is a bit high, but this one is decently made. Probably some tourists here. That's an interesting car here. Probably very cheap to make. Yeah, and they have some nice, but they think they open themselves to the tourism industry. Probably they need money, but some of those houses looks pretty nice. Again, this old type of architecture. It is Spanish architecture. I don't think the communist building like that. There is no way they build like that in Europe. I don't think they're gonna build here a different way. So yeah, those buildings, old ones, absolutely amazing. Look at this. Young people here also. They're doing pretty decent when you look at those images here in the downtown. Keep in mind, they have something very nice to admire. Look at this, those ships. Things clearly improve here a lot. It's not like how we expected to see it. That's why I make those videos, to see exactly how those people actually live. But there are some bad neighborhoods too, not the greatest. Not all of them are greatest. They have one of those, I don't think it's a tuk-tuk, it's just some sort of a taxi. Again, bars on the windows, not exactly crime-free reassuring. And this is Havana. Okay, let's go on the sides of the city. What is this here? Oh, yeah, you can see nothing there. One of the last few communist countries remained. I wonder how much it's gonna last. Ooh, this is not that great. That's a nice color. At least they're individual houses with these nice retro cars. Looking pretty decent, I have to say, but let me check some more. Yeah, pretty decent roads. They have those cables, but not in an exaggerated way, so yeah, it's manageable. I'm wondering what's happening here. Some sort of the old building here. Buildings, no longer in use. Yeah, it feels like most of those 360 and not a single one of those street views. They are here in the downtown. They have even an airport there. Yeah, I kind of like the architecture of the buildings. It's interesting. This one actually pretty nice, but again, bars on the windows, not exactly great. But again, for the communist country, I expect it to be extremely safe. Used to be like very safe in a communist Europe. Didn't have to worry that much. Here, yeah, the sidewalk, not exactly a great one. The road's pretty decent. This is 2016, almost 10 years ago. Maybe they improved it by now. Maybe it got actually better. Who knows? I don't have the images to check them, but oh, it's like a valley here. Probably some sort of the park, I guess. Look at this. It's a difference in levels. Level difference here. You know what? It doesn't look so bad. I expected it to be much worse. Clearly, it's not the case. Ooh, it's something important here. Let's check this one. Not exactly sure what it's supposed to be. It's a bath. What is that? It's a bathroom? No, it's a monument. Some area looks very nice. Okay, we know who those guys are. Let's check this square. Well, pretty decent, you know. Not so bad, not so worst either. It's just the average, let's say. Here, ooh, on the inside looks amazing. That's nice. They have some really nice architecture here, but it's from the Spanish era. And in some cases, it doesn't seem to maintain it at all. Oh, look at this one. That's an expensive light pole right there, but it looks great. Ooh, they have a pole here on the roof. Fortunately, we cannot see it, but it looks great. No, which building, but it looks nice. Yeah, nice hotels. Probably at the tourist industry. I don't think it's booming exactly, but still pretty good. This is 2017. A bit old, those 360s. I wish they can make a new one. That would be a much better. But yeah, there's a lot of nice places here. Now, it does not look that bad, I have to say. There is a lot to see in this Spanish Havana. They build right. The Spanish build some nice buildings here. Can you imagine how that much could cost back in those days? Have some docks here. This is the harbor. Yeah, Havana doesn't look that bad. Clearly it's worth checking out. Now let's move to some other areas. Let's see some other places. Oh, we have those. I wanna check. Oh, that's great. That's great. It looks nice. Let's check these ones here. Clearly resorts made for tourists, 100%. Most likely Americans. Probably are not that expensive. At least I hope it's not gonna be that expensive here. And you can pretty much have a very nice tourist industry. Things are cheap. Are on the cheap side. Yeah, beach nice. It's Caribbean, for God's sake. It's Havana. It's Cuba. It's probably the first country that you think when you think Caribbean. Rome. It's probably the first one. Yeah, it looks here actually looks pretty good. I like this alley. The roads also looks pretty good. And from above, I don't think it was paved back then, but it could be. Let's check some other areas. Ooh, it's pretty big, Havana, Cuba. It's pretty big. Fortunately, I cannot check. But from above, let's see how they look. Okay, a bit spread around. I don't think they have paved roads here, but the main one is paved, which is looking pretty good. Some spaces between them, probably some tobacco fields here. Or sugar for rum. I love this rum. Okay, there's some tobacco leaves here. Making some nice cigars. Unfortunately, it's very expensive. Cigars becoming very expensive here in the West for whatever reason. Probably they try to make people to quit, but I don't know. It feels like, for me, it feels like what we see in the movies lately. It feels like the cigars are gonna have a comeback at some point. At least this is how it feels. I don't know, but it feels like they're gonna have a comeback, which is gonna be pretty interesting to see. Yeah, here on the beach. I mean, you go to Cuba for the beach, let's face it, and from the Havana, we want to see those architecture nice. You have two things to see here. See, there is probably a properly tourist industry here. You have more than a beach to see, but yeah, you kind of go for that. Probably go for the rum, cigars, see Havana, and stay on the beach. And it's a nice vacation if it's cheap enough. Whew, they can score some real good numbers here. I can see some really good numbers in Cuba. Unfortunately, for the average guy, how he lives here doesn't seem to be exactly great time. But I think people they can get by. Here we have some fire. Which is exactly what happened. We have an airstrip at least. Right there. Yeah. Let's see some other parts of it. It's just pretty huge. It's not that small. Oh, now we have some street views here. 2025 March. Okay, maybe they just started rolling this out. Who knows? This is from 2025, very recently. Roads not so bad. Not that many people on the sides here. I don't see garbage, which is pretty good. Those cable looks at least well managed. They're using bikes, which is nice. Clean. Yeah. Okay, a bit of garbage here, but Not so bad. I kind of like it so far, pretty good. And we have again street views very recently. This is, yeah, no paved road, which is bad. A horse here, not so modern, I would say. And those houses don't look that great, let's face it. The only thing that I like about this one is the color. Yeah, not that great. A bit of the mess with the cables in that direction, but not exactly insane. Not great. It doesn't look that great, I have to say. I don't think they have... Okay, this one has pretty much a fence with bars on the windows. I don't think they have bars, so maybe... But it looks abandoned in a way. Just feels like nobody's home here. That's pretty decent. That's also pretty decent. Yeah, they need clearly some... This is... Yeah, they have some bars on the windows here. Clearly they need some improvements. Here's some garbage that I don't like. Not sure exactly those guys what are doing there. They're using a lot of bikes here, so yeah, probably fuel is not that cheap, or at least not that available. Yeah, some people don't do exactly right. Let's check this road. It's gotta be a good one, right? Yeah, not even close. 2025, so this is exactly very recently, so this is exactly how things are right now there. Yeah, the quality of the street view not great, but at least we have something, which is great, so I'm not complaining that much about that. Yeah, here they're missing a road. What else can we see in this region? Let's take a bit further away. Let's check those small village, whatever it is there. Oh yeah, they don't live in that well. The good things about the good thing it's the population is going down. The corruption, again, it's a communist country. Just you cannot rely on those numbers no matter what. But at least it looks like they're doing a bit better than neighboring countries. So that's at least some hopes. God knows how much this system is gonna last. Usually, communist system doesn't last more than, I don't think they even reach 100 years. So yeah, who knows how much is gonna last. Here they're living like in, I don't know, 15th century, 16th century, something like that, except the power. Yeah, okay, these people just go to see what's happening. Yeah, here it's a village. It's not the greatest one, but in Havana I kind of like it. And it's in the middle of the country pretty much, so don't even have that nice beachfront property, let's say. Here it probably is great, this area. Unfortunately we don't have 360 to check them. What is that? Oh, it's some sand. Here they have some roads. They have some interest here. Again, unfortunately we don't have... Oh, we have some trees. Ooh, this is for the rich one. This is for the rich people. This is... Ooh, look at the beach. Look at this. That's... I don't like these umbrellas here, but if it was a clean beach, that was gonna look much better. Much better. It looks nice. Yeah, those nice places, they reserve it for the tourists, I guess. Fortunately, this 360 not that great. Clearly, they developed this as an economic hub for tourists. It looks nice. It's Cuba. It is Cuba. And look at this. It's on the pretty much on the island. And they have roads to that island. Wow. Let's check those roads. Pretty good. 2017. Pretty good, you know. They build a road over the ocean to get there. And they have even the airstrip. Pretty good and pretty nice. Cuba. And they're using a Peugeot. A French car, probably from Haiti. Yeah, that's a man-made. That's a man-made road above the ocean, and definitely now it wasn't cheap to create. And it looks great also. Yeah, pretty nice. I kind of like it. See, they have some nice things here. You don't even imagine. Look at these roads above the ocean. They have an airport here in case you want to fly there. You don't want to drive there, I guess, or you just want to fly directly from the US. Probably they have some flights there. Looks pretty good. You're pretty good, you know. And probably all of those are full of resort. Yeah, let's see how they look. Unfortunately, when you make those, in my opinion, it kind of takes away from the beauty of the place when you just put umbrellas on the beach and chairs and all that stuff. It's not the same. Maybe we can compare with some wild beach. Let's see if we can find some 360 one of those. Fortunately, only those on the resorts we can find. But still looking better even this one. This one not so much. Yeah, they invest some money. I get it. I mean, just you want to make some money in the tourist industry. There is a lot of money to be made here, especially as a service industry. Phew. They tend to do the best. Oh, we have some nice wild beaches here. Let's check those one, how they look. Pretty good. Pretty good. See, a wild beach. Very nice. Very nice indeed. That's great. Look at those guys. Not sure exactly how you can go in a country on the boat. Not exactly how the legislation works there. I mean, just you need to have some. You need to present some documents. You need to. I don't know. On the road, it's on the air. It's pretty easy, but if you want to go here on the boat, let's say from Florida or from Bahamas, it'll be interesting to see how things are there. Yeah, so it looks pretty developed, I have to say. There are some really nice areas here. It's not like there is nothing there or whatever. They do pretty good. You going on vacation in Cuba? Yeah, so far it's worth it. Yeah, kind of like it. It's pretty. I think it's more developed than Dominican Republic. And clearly they have, I would say, a better brand. Let's call it like that. You can visit the communist country. You can drink some rum, good cigars. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do here. I can see why people just wanted to go here. Maybe we can visit even Guantanamo Bay, just from the outside. Clearly, you don't want to see the inside. But yeah, the average guy here, clearly you can see how nice was those on the beach and how it is here. Probably due to this one. Look at this, from 6.5 to almost doubling the population. They already started with a big population, so it wasn't like they were like 1 million people and then just bam, all of a sudden they just got insanely high population. But a country like Cuba, I would say, see, they have elephants, but no, it's just fake ones. Look at this. A country like Cuba probably is gonna do well with, I don't know, 1 million people around that. It's kind of a huge low number, but I think with time and some developing economies and whatever political system they will have, it is a very high possibility. But so far, though, they don't do that bad, I would say. Not for everybody, again, it's gonna be the same old story, but I have to say, it doesn't look that bad. Oh, that's actually pretty nice here. These are well maintained ones. Yeah, pretty interesting country so far. Where is Guantanamo Bay, by the way? It has to be in a bay, but I don't know exactly where it is. This is this one. Where is the military based? Well, we're gonna check that in a second. Let me see what is happening here. At least it's the front beach property, but not exactly the beach that you hope to see when you go to Caribbean islands. Yeah, not exactly the ocean. It's more like a lake there. Here on the southern part of the country, let's see what we can find here really quick. Well, they have some areas. Oh, this one. Probably again made for tourists. They have some concerts here. Look like a pirate also. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good to me. And those like a vacation homes or probably resorts homes, just renting them. Yeah, they're renting them. I think they have some also medical tourist industry, and you go there and fix your teeth or stuff like that. Also pretty interesting. Obviously because it's cheaper. I guess they train the doctor outside the country and then they come back and now they make good living there, and from the rest of the population they can go in vacation and also some medical vacation, medical tourism. Pretty good, I would say that too. If they gotta make a good job, why not? Those are nice boats there. Yeah, it looks the Caribbean. Come on, say it's Caribbean. A lot of people here. It does look nice. It does look nice. Let's see, Guantanamo. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Where is this? Oh, it's right here on the south. Okay, we just missed that. So where is the American base? This is like an airstrip. This could be the American base, right? This is how it looks. And this one too. Pretty big, pretty big. A lot of cars here. Again, I don't think they make tourists here, but... And also, I don't think you're gonna have pictures here. And yeah, judging by those lines, straight lines, it looks very American to me. They have these roads here that they check the checkpoints. Probably they have some of them. I think that's the base, the Guantanamo Bay base. And the infamous Guantanamo Bay. Not kind things happen here, but okay, the solar panel. I don't think I can see the solar panel in entire Cuba. I think we saw them here first. Some residential homes most likely. Yeah, that's the base if you are interested in that kind of stuff. Kind of sad, but it is what it is, I guess. That's the infamous Guantanamo Bay American-based military base. There are some nice beaches here. Probably they go to there pretty often. They have boats that are going in and out. Clearly a very restricted area, 100%. Yeah, that was the... Let's go back to our story. That was the Guantanamo Bay base. Can check them where it was. Right there, close to Haiti. Pretty interesting, I would say. So yeah, I guess overall, it's better to live on the beach here. Definitely, you're gonna have a much better life than living in the middle of the country. A lot of bikes. This is 2016, but still they're using a lot of bikes here. So probably again, it's gonna be the cheapest form of transportation. Some of them they have cars, but not that many. Roads pretty decent when they have it. Also, it's worth mentioning. Better to live probably in the northern part here when there are the resorts. If you work in one of those resorts, and probably you make a lot of tips and you're gonna do well for yourself. Hopefully they're gonna have some actually residential area for the people and not having those hotels for them, because they usually don't look that great. They don't treat them that great. Their own stuff. Oh, someone there didn't notice. Yeah, it's a nice place here in the northern part, but again, clearly Cuba is not a country for everybody, and probably here in Havana, just here on the sea, a lot of people go to the boats to reach the United States. Ooh, that's a nice ship. So yeah, they're gonna migrate a lot with those boats. Let's check these ones. Yeah, so far with good, with bad, like any other countries, it's not like is special in any way or form or shape. The only thing that I think is still special, especially from the American perspective, it's a communist country in a 21st century, and it's interesting to see how things are there. They have probably the best rum, the best cigars, nice architecture in Havana, great beaches. I mean, there's a lot of things to see here. It's not like you're going for one thing for a beach, and you can find that pretty much everywhere. There's a lot of things that can play here around. So yeah, it is worth checking out, definitely, especially if it's cheap. Pretty good. And yeah, I heard like they have that again, like medical tourism. I'm not sure exactly how the quality is there, but I heard they have that too. So probably if you need some repair, some tips or something like that, it's also opportunity for you. Yeah, overall I like it. You know, it's not that bad. Again, for the average person, yeah, not even close, let's face it. There has a long way of improving. Oh, those are communist cars, by the way. A long way to improve, a long list to fix. But again, the population is going down. Corruption, maybe they go down. Depends, who knows what political system they're gonna have in 25 years. It could go either way, I guess, at this point. It could be good, it could be bad. But clearly they have some nice areas, they have some potential, and I guess with time we're gonna see where they're gonna land in this country, how the thing is gonna be there. That's probably a rental, who knows. Yeah, again, not every single corner of this country is pretty big. Cuba is not a small country. Not every single corner here is gonna be great, but it is pretty decent wherever you go, I would say. As a tourist, again, as a locals, well, they have the flag of France here. Ooh, that's clearly a front beach property right there, front beach bar. Yeah, as a local, probably things are not that great. I heard that the salary are very low here, not that much purchasing power. We're gonna see where they're gonna land. But they have rum, they have cigars, they have nice sunsets. A lot of those in the communist countries, in the ex-communist country, didn't have even those. So yeah, it is something interesting there. So yeah, that was Cuba, I think. Not sure exactly somebody watching this video. I don't think they can. They have YouTube there, but if you have. They have YouTube there. It'll be interesting to see their opinion. Most likely you visited, if you watch some of the visited the country, especially if you're from America, and I am curious how things were there, how things you see them, comparing also with the American system, and also if you see some other, like the Dominican Republic, how they compare those two together. That would be an interesting comparison. Yeah, those three countries, Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, they are the most populated countries in this entire Caribbean area, and from now on we're gonna see under 10 million in population. This was above 10 million. We're gonna see how much that makes the difference. Probably, I'm not sure if we're gonna see a bigger economies than those three in this area, but we're gonna see that when I make those videos. So yeah, check the other videos that I made from South America and Central America, and now, like I said, we're moving to the Caribbean area, see how those people are doing. Check the other videos, and see you next time.